Good morning, this is Akashvani and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the World News. The headlines: India and Singapore review progress of bilateral cooperation under 8 areas outlined by Roadmap for India-Singapore Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. US President Donald Trump signs 2 executive orders aimed at restricting birthright citizenship and curbing birth tourism. New Mexico court orders Meta to pay $567 million to address harm its platforms have caused to young people. Indian Grandmaster R. Pragyanand clinches Grand Chess Tour St. Louis Rapid and Blitz title in United States. And in badminton, Ashmita Chaliha storms into the women's singles semi-finals of Korea Masters in Asan. India and Singapore have reviewed the progress of bilateral cooperation under the 8 areas outlined by the Roadmap for India-Singapore Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. The 19th round of the India-Singapore Foreign Office consultations was held in New Delhi yesterday. The meeting was co-chaired by Secretary Ease Rudendra Tandon and Permanent Secretary Policy Minister of Foreign Affairs Singapore Liu Goh. Both sides also exchanged views on regional and global developments and reaffirmed the importance of close coordination at international and regional fora, including ASEAN, in addressing shared challenges. External Affairs Ministry said in a statement that India-Singapore relations were elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership during the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Singapore in September 2024. The Roadmap for Comprehensive Strategic Partnership was launched during the visit of Prime Minister of Singapore Lawrence Yong's visit to India in September last year. It covers cooperation in several areas including economic cooperation, skills development, digitalization, sustainability, connectivity, and healthcare and medicine. US President Donald Trump has signed 2 executive orders aimed at restricting birthright citizenship and curbing birth tourism. Speaking at the Oval Office, Trump expressed disappointment over the Supreme Court ruling, calling it an unfortunate decision. He added his administration was cracking down very big on what he called abuses of the U.S. immigration system.
We had a very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court concerning birthright. It was close, but a very, very unfortunate decision. So we're making adjustments because it's very unfair. This was done for a different reason. This was done right after the Civil War. This was for the babies of slaves.
According to the White House, one order identifies categories of children of foreign nationals who would not qualify for birthright citizenship under historical exceptions recognized by the Supreme Court, while the second directs the state and homeland security departments to end birth tourism, where foreign nationals travel to the U.S. primarily to secure citizenship for the children. U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed confidence that the conflict involving Iran would end pretty soon, saying the Islamic Republic can't go much longer. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Trump defended his decision to launch what he described as a very important excursion into the Islamic Republic of Iran, arguing that preventing Tehran from acquiring a nuclear weapon was essential for global security. On the possibility of a U.S.-Iran agreement, Trump said discussions remain ongoing and suggested progress was being made. However, on Wednesday, Iran's acting defense minister, Brigadier General Syed Majid Ibn Reza, expressed confidence in the country's defense capabilities, saying that they are ready to spare no effort to give a crushing and decisive response to any threats to the nations, particularly from US and Israel. The chain hunger strike launched by the Tibetan Youth Congress (TYC) against China's implementation of the ethnic unity law in Dharamshala entered its 20th day today. The protest is aimed to oppose China's ethnic unity law, which according to the protesters threatens the identity and rights of minority communities, including Tibetans. 3 members of the Tibetan parliament in exile also joined the hunger strike in Dharamshala, expressing solidarity with the movement. Speaking to media, TYC General Secretary Tenzing Lobsang urged the United Nations to respond to the demands, adding that efforts have been made to strengthen the movement. Since July 19, the Tibetan Youth Congress has been carrying out a global protest campaign to amplify the voices of Tibetans and ensure that the truth about Tibet reaches a wider international audience. This is Akashvani and you are listening to the World News. We bring you the top international news and updates from around the globe. A New Mexico court has ordered Instagram and Facebook parent company Meta to pay $567 million to address the harm its platforms have caused to young people, marking the second phase of a landmark case the company lost in March. Judge Brian Bedsheet ruled that $420 million of the total fund will be used for treatment services for young people, while the remaining amount will support awareness and prevention programs, screening services, and other related costs over the next 5 years. Prosecutors asked the judge to impose fundamental changes at Meta aimed at reining in addictive features, improving age verification, and preventing child sexual exploitation through default privacy settings and closer oversight. However, the court declined to order mandatory age verification. It noted that federal children's privacy laws prevent Meta from implementing age verification tools for children under 13. During the first phase of the trial, a jury had imposed $375 million in civil penalties on Meta, finding that the company knowingly harmed children's mental health and concealed its knowledge of child sexual exploitation on its platforms. The number of confirmed Ebola cases in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has crossed the 4,000 mark. According to the country's health authorities, the total number of confirmed Ebola cases has reached 4,053, including 1,850 deaths. At present, 694 patients remain in isolation or are receiving treatment in hospitals, while 793 people have recovered from the disease. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, yesterday said the Ebola outbreak in the DRC has killed 330 children and is severely disrupting essential health services in the hardest hit Ituri province. According to UNICEF, the outbreak also caused a sharp decline in childhood immunization, maternal health care, and other essential services, as fear of infection and disruptions to health facilities kept families away from care. Brazil's federal police have formally accused 16 current and former VOPAS employees, including owner and president José Luis Felicio Filho, over the 2024 plane crash that killed all 62 people on board. Investigators alleged malpractice, negligence, and omissions by the airline. VOPAS owner and president José Luis Felicio Filho was among those formally accused for the accident. Indian Grandmaster R. Pragyanand has clinched the Grand Chess Tour St. Louis Rapid and Blitz title in the United States. The 20-year-old secured the championship after drawing against Uzbekistan's Grandmaster Yevgeny Sindarov in the penultimate round, finishing the tournament with 23 points out of a possible 35. Pragyanand maintained the lead throughout the 5-day event, with Sindarov mounting a strong challenge in the final stages, but fell short, finishing runner-up with a 1.5-point deficit. India will face arch-rival Pakistan in the marquee match of the 2026 Women's Asia Cup at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium on September 5th. The Asian Cricket Council (ACC) yesterday announced the schedule for the Women's T20 Asia Cup 2026 set to be held in Dubai from August 28th, with Thailand facing Hong Kong. The final will be played on September 13th. This will be the 6th edition of the Women's Asia Cup to be played in the T20 format. In badminton, India's Ashmita Chaliha stormed into the women's singles semi-finals of the Korea Masters in Asan today. Ashmita defeated top seed Hina Akechi of Japan 20-22, 21-15, 21-19. Earlier, she progressed to the last stage with a dominant win over South Korea's Kim Min-ji. In the men's doubles quarterfinals, the Indian duo Prithvi Krishnamurti Roy and Krishna Prasad Garaga will face Malaysia's Man Wei Chong and So Woo-ik for a place in the semi-finals. And now, before we close, here are the highlights of the bulletin. India and Singapore review progress of bilateral cooperation under 8 areas outlined by Roadmap for India-Singapore Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. US President Donald Trump signs 2 executive orders aimed at restricting birthright citizenship and curbing birth tourism. New Mexico court orders Meta to pay $567 million to address harm its platforms have caused to young people. Indian Grandmaster R. Pragyanand clinches Grand Chess Tour St. Louis Rapid and Blitz title in the United States. And in badminton, Ashmita Chaliha storms into the women's singles semi-finals of the Korea Masters in Asan. And that is the end of this World News Bulletin.